Booker T. They want more than 5-time WCW champion in the middle of the ring. You want a piece of me at Starrcade? I would be happy to whoop you, Kurt Angle. You got so lucky when you beat me. You got some fluke victory over me on Nitro on the very first episode. It was the debut episode. We were all still coming off of that big tag team matchup. That's, lucky win, whatever. Booker T is ready. He has been preparing. You saw what I did to you on Nitro 2 weeks ago. Kurt Angle, I laid your ass out, sucker. I dropped you onto the ladder. I dropped you onto the ladder again. You can't hang with Booker T. You want a shot at me at Starrcade? I know that I will get you the next time around.
Did somebody say savior at WCW? Well, here he comes, the president, the commissioner, the GM, the owner of Monday Night Jericho, the Ayatollah of rock and roll. Gentlemen, we want to talk about Starrcade. You want to do this thing, Kurt Angle, Chris Jericho, Booker T at Starrcade? Kurt Angle, you can shut your mouth in the ring, because there is no way you would have had the 3 count against the Ayatollah of rock and roll. Chris Jericho was going to kick out of that maneuver, I'll let you know that. And Chris Jericho had Kurt Angle taken down, Kurt Angle beaten. The walls of Jericho was about to be put on that bad neck of yours, and it was about to be leaned back, and Kurt Angle would have been tapping. Shut your mouth, Jericho. Kurt Angle does not tap out to anybody. Kurt Angle sure as hell wouldn't have tapped out to you with your little walls of Jericho. This neck, you would not have leaned on it, and you would not have put any pain into the Olympic gold medalist. You know damn well that I had your ass beat. You had to have the referee distracted, you used weapons, you used everything. I set up a ladder, I moonsaulted you 20 feet into the air, and your ass was pinned until Booker T had to come into the ring, and then like the coward that you are, you took off and ran. You ran out of here because you didn't want to stand up and fight. So I know what kind of competition I got at Starrcade. It's going to be easy. Chris Jericho, the man that sneak attacks and the man that runs away, and that punk ass Booker T, the man that's crying and moaning and complaining and saying that he's the savior of this company and blah, 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 blah. Kurt Angle's the savior of this company. When I left the WWF, they had absolutely nobody left. And when I come and crack the Rock in between the eyes with the championship belt, that's all it took. That's all it took for the alliance.
Sucker. Booker T's been with this company since day one. If you were any kind of savior, you would have been a member of WCW and not of the World Wrestling Federation. Booker T has been defending these fans since day number one, and they love Booker T. They love the 5-time WCW champion. I whooped your ass 2 weeks ago on Nitro, and I would do the same to you, Chris Jericho. That's why Chris Jericho had to turn and run out of the ring, because he's a coward, and that's also why he didn't want to face me on the debut episode.
Whoa, who are we calling coward? I believe it was you on the debut episode who turned and ran out of the ring when I was beating Kurt Angle within an inch of his life, and I also believe that I was the one that told you that I didn't have my gear with me. Who the hell do you think you are calling the Ayatollah of rock and roll a coward? Chris Jericho is the greatest superstar this company has ever seen. I was able to manipulate The Rock. You don't understand that. I was with the company since day one, Booker T, and it sucked under its previous management. It's good now that Shane and Stephanie are running things, and that's why I left. And as for you, Kurt Angle, you're an idiot because instead of keeping things quiet and destroying the WWF from the inside, that's where the Ayatollah came in. That's where Chris Jericho came in. I was able to manipulate The Rock from October on to November and help save this company. I'm the savior of WC. Jericho, Kurt, Booker, I never thought that this thing would explode the way it has when I signed Chris Jericho to a contract. You all have very valid claims to say that you are the savior of this company, and we appreciate you all for it. But we all would like you, Chris Jericho and Booker T, please shut the hell up. Kurt Angle, I absolutely respect what you have to say about not needing the day off. I know you needed it, and you will be better for it. I'll tell you what's going to happen. We're running out of time. We need to push this thing along. We have a full night of action here, of matches here at Alliance Nitro. We need to push this thing along, so I'm going to say this. It's going to be Chris Jericho, Booker T, Kurt Angle, a triple threat match this Sunday at Starrcade. And the winner will be the #1 contender to the new world title. Whether or not it's Stone Cold Steve Austin, whether or not we somehow sign The Rock, whether or not it's Rhino, or whether or not it's whoever wins the TLC match and we make that title the new world title. We gotta keep moving on, and the triple threat match, the winner will be the #1 contender. Tony Schiavone and Paul Heyman here along with you at ringside. Starrcade is this Sunday, and you've got to order the pay-per-view. Chavo Guerrero versus Test in a do-or-die matchup. Chavo Guerrero one final opportunity to prove himself. The ECW, WCW tag team titles on the line for the first time ever. The Dudley Boys and the Impact Players. The Dudley Boys coming off of a humiliating loss to Chavo and to Edge, a makeshift tag team. Can they bounce back against a team that looks rejuvenated and stronger than ever? Just incredible. Lance Storm, the Impact Players, the tag team titles. We have a triple threat match. The winner will be #1 contender to the World Championship. Notice we just say world title. We don't know if the champion will be Stone Cold. We don't know if the champion will be The Rock. If we can sign The Rock to a deal if he wins. We don't know if we have to pull the ECW title out of retirement and have Rhino be the world champion. Whether or not the winner of the TLC match, those titles will combine and become the new world title. Something will have to give. Someone will have to be the new world champion. We don't know who it will be, but as Shane continues to say, we can't keep dwelling on this. The show must go on. One of these three men, they've been feuding over who should be savior of WCW and ECW, the Alliance. Who is the true savior? We'll find out at Starrcade. Tables, ladders, and chairs. Both of these guys have won 2 TLC matches together. They've won a triple ladder match with tables involved together. These men have absolutely done it all as it regards to TLC, but now they put it both on the line. They had a 20-minute matchup last week on Nitro. What kind of match will they have at Starrcade? Tables, ladders, chairs, the United States, and the television titles, both are on the line. Brother versus brother. And they're not the only ones that can have a title for title matchup. The main event, Stone Cold Steve Austin, WWF Champion versus The Rock, WCW Champion and uncontracted superstar. The last shred of hope. Will The Rock lay the titles on the desk of Vince McMahon and literally put power back in Vince McMahon's hands? Or can the Texas Rattlesnake take the WCW title back from The Rock, bring it back to the Alliance, and send The Rock and the WWF home? Will the Alliance be left trying to scramble to figure out who will be the new world champion? Will it be scrambling trying to create a new legacy while Vince McMahon is holding both the WWF and WCW championships with the power in the palm of his hand? Or can the Texas Rattlesnake send The Rock out and put the WWF to rest once and for all? We still have an awesome show left for you tonight as we lead up to Starrcade. Raven versus Rhino will go one-on-one. Rob Van Dam will take on Lance Storm, and Stone Cold Steve Austin will be in action tonight against Tommy Dreamer. Before we get on with the rest of the show, we want to tell you that speaking of championships, there's been a lot of talk of championships. The women's division, Trish Stratus won that six-woman match at the Survivor Series to become the brand new women's champion. We've been in talks with Trish Stratus over the last month or so, trying to come up with a deal to sign her over to WCW ECW to be a member of the Alliance. We understand that that deal is very close to being struck, and it should happen within a matter of weeks. The Alliance Women, Trish Stratus, and the Women's Championship will be here on Alliance Nitro. We'll be part of the WCW and ECW and the women's division. We'll be back. It will be better, and it will be stronger than ever, and it will be better than anything that the WWF tried to put on. I guarantee you that. Let's get ready, Paul. Let's get ready for our next matchup. It's Raven, and it's Rhino. Raven looking to add to his impressive win-loss record here on Alliance Nitro. He currently stands at 2-0 after 2 victories over Tommy Dreamer. Perhaps could be 3-0 if he hadn't refused a hardcore championship match with RVD 2 weeks ago. But Raven, last week, after a victory with Tommy Dreamer, tried to attack him with a steel chair after the matchup, but Rhino, after being verbally abused by Raven earlier in the night, came out and saved Tommy Dreamer.
And that's the kind of thing that I think Raven is talking about. He thinks that Rhino is acting chewy. Back when Rhino first joined ECW, he was a rookie monster. He had no soul. He had no heart. He ran through anyone. Managers, women, they were thrown through tables. They were thrown off ladders. They were just, nobody could stand in the way of the War Machine, Rhino, of the man beast, Rhino, the rookie monster. Raven kind of feels like that Rhino isn't his same self, and he feels that way with Tommy Dreamer too, and I think I'm starting to figure out what he's talking about. He wants to see that energy and that passion out of Dreamer, and here comes the cover. There's 1, there's 2, and Raven able to get out. He wants to see that energy and that passion. I don't know why, because if these guys aren't at their best, it's easier for Raven to get championship matches, but for some reason, he wants Rhino and Dreamer at their very best. Once again,
referee calling for a rope break here, as we talked about. The rope breaks are extremely loose, extremely lenient here. They've been told to call them only when necessary in order to keep the flow of the matches going. And Raven, he talked about last week when he was sitting up in his nest about something about anarchy and there's going to be a war, and whether or not Raven's going to initiate this war or create this war or what. But he keeps claiming that there's anarchy, and he's trying to get the best out of Rhino, out of Dreamer, and now stealing your chair once again, Paul. So Paul, apologize if you're going to be on your feet now. This match, I think Rhino reminding Raven that this match is not under ECW rules. It's just a normal singles match. These guys are on the outside, and Rhino gets into the ring to break up the referee's 10 count. Rhino reminding Raven it's not ECW rules, as Rhino power bombs Raven on the outside of the ring. But Raven talking about whether or not he's going to be the one to create this anarchy, this Armageddon or not. I don't know what Raven's talking about. He always talks in code, and he's trying to bring this new energy out of Rhino and Dreamer, and Rhino nearly picking up the first victory here on Nitro.
Nice swinging DDT from Raven, and Rhino, I believe what really set Raven over the top was when Rhino lost to Edge, a WWF superstar, under ECW rules. That really set Raven off, and thinks that if this was the old Rhino, that never would have happened at all.
Here comes Rhino off of the ropes.